It said 80s something. No, dummy, dum dum. Okay, what happened was, and this happened to me live a couple of times, strings went out. Strings went out of tune. The G string and the EAD. Mainly the G string went out, so you're screwed. And the A string was slightly out. So you saw that I tuned this down to D, and then I was going to do a heavy thing, but it didn't work out, just barring. But as soon as I did, I heard that the A string was out, and I didn't want to sit there and tune. So I just played on 2 strings. I had to do this on a song called, I can't remember which one. I think it was the Wolf one. Anyways, something Wolf. Night of the Wolf. My guitar string went out. The G string went out, and my A. So I had to play with this, the E, which was tuned down to D, and the 2 strings that were in. So I had to keep going between this, and when I would use the D or the E and the A, the A was out of tune, I had to keep, doing a vibrato. So you couldn't hear that it was out of tune because it was, in and out. So that's what I was doing. That's a quick fix to a horrible situation where you're on stage and you don't want to stop and get another guitar and you have to fake it. There you go. I only had 3 strings that I could work with. This was in tune up here, and I didn't really, I was too busy down here I wanted to play something, but instead I decided to. That's a song I've actually been working on. So I figured I'd try it out on this, but everything went to shit, like it does sometimes. Pulling up on it, I'm going rear, so you can't hear its out of tune. Does anybody get that lesson in Scary on Stage, Let's Fake It? So I had to do that a lot. That was your lesson for today. Oh my gosh, my guitar's out of tune. What do I do without looking like an idiot? Fake it. If you can. If you can't, you better have another guitar and a good roadie that knows how to bam, boom, really quick. That helps. Especially when you're a bass player, almost no one notices. They do. The bottom end drops out, but then you're right back where you were. So, or this is just one time when I was so drunk. We were playing somewhere, and my roadie, Robert Zion, everybody called him Tomato. I was too drunk, but I was playing bass, and it was Fatal Attraction. And I just turned the tone all the way down on the guitar, and I had it muddied, so it was just a rumble, a low end. It didn't matter what I was hitting, really. But most of the songs I'd just ride either an A or an E or whatever. Or, I could figure some out, but it looked like an 8-string bass to me at the time. And it was probably only 80 people instead of 800 people, but that's how I faked it on bass. You just turn it all down, muddy it, and unless you're really, there's a part where you're really, you need to be. At that time, we didn't have any complicated bass parts, but as time went on, they became more complicated. Not really, but it was more necessary for me to be alert. So after that, I never got drunk to the point where I couldn't play. I always was drinking. I was a functioning alcoholic for 20 years. And then I became a dysfunctional alcoholic for about a year, and then I just said, I'm done. So that was it. There's my alcoholism story. My thing with alcohol is don't start. Because if you're an alcoholic, you're going to go through hell getting off of it. And it could be a year, it could be 5, it could be 20. I know guys that have been doing it for 50 years. 50 years! It killed my uncle. He died at 43. 43. And I drank more than he did. But he did it consistently from his teens to his death. I mean, he died. He got cancer, and the doctor said, sure, you can still drink a beer or two. To him, that's a 6-pack. To an alcoholic, a couple beers is at least a 6-pack. So he's drinking a 6-pack a day after they just cut out half of his guts and put them all up in a net because everything had just given away. My poor Uncle Tony. I love him. I miss that guy. Uncle Tony. My friend Tony Rydell. That's the tattoo for him. That's my Indian name, Firehawk in Cherokee, Ahawatolande. And there's the pipe that I used to send my grandfather, Ironhawk, off to the happy hunting ground. Literally, that's where they go. That's where you say. And you could point to the east because that's where the great spirit will come from, is going to. It's very similar to Christ. If you would, if anybody, you don't go to a college. You go to a band of Indians and get to know them and learn their ways. And if you're an Indian, part Indian, it's easy. I did it in the Southwest with the Hopi tribe, and I went to one of their little things and where they explained to the young people what things meant. We sat in front of a rock with petroglyphs. 2 days before, I heard this stupid idiot ranger explain all the petroglyphs. He was totally off. And that's the whole point. People come and study Indians, or they used to, and they still do, on the reservation. They study them like an animal. What the heck? Do they do that to black people? No. Maybe they should. Do they, the Mexicans? No. We just should do Operation Wetback like we did in the 50s. Put them in a bus, and you scare them back. The illegal ones, the ones that aren't doing anything, the ones that are clogging things up. The ones that are working and they're here to make a better life, I don't care. More power to you. The ones that are just screwing things up, get out. Killing people, drugs, drinking. The guy that pulled in front of me, illegal Mexican. Pulled in front of me. He got $5,000, him and his drunk family, and they all went back to Mexico while I was still in a coma. Nice, huh? But I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't dwell on it. But that's just, some facts for you to think about. So anyways, the Indian thing was, I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Anything you hear from a college professor is bullcrap. You have to go to the source. And I'm not going to go on about what everything means, but the serpent, they don't have it right. The little thing, if you go up there, there's usually a thing that looks like a checkerboard. They say that's a calendar. Wrong.